Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Elizabeth Garlow.
And I'm Kaherl.
And we're here today to share with you why we believe that opening the door to 5,000 small things can be the next big thing for Detroit.
So, how many of you have ever been to Slo's Barbecue? Yes, we love Slo's. How many of you, the first time you went there, had a hard time finding the door to get inside Slo's Barbecue? Okay, for those of you who've never been and don't know what I'm talking about, Slo's is a magical restaurant on Michigan Avenue run by friends, the Cooley family. And there's this beautiful wood paneled door with a very inset handle. And a lot of people, and those who've lived in Detroit a while, find joy for people just kind of going like this, back and forth in front of the door. And there's two doors around it, so you're like, which one? I don't get it. And we see this as a metaphor for how Detroit works. You know the door is there. You see the people inside. You can smell that barbecue outside. You know that there's like hundreds of like beer taps waiting for your consumption. And yet, you just can't get in there. And that is the metaphor for Detroit. You know the door is there, but you have to find the handle. And so that's what Elizabeth and I have done together, is helped find the handle and to get into Detroit. And so we were here today to share it with you, our handle collaboration called Kiva Soup. So Elizabeth, can you tell us a little bit more about Kiva?
I'd love to. So I'm going to tell you about the first part of Kiva Soup, which is a project called Kiva Detroit. The project was started by a group of individuals who came together through Michigan Core with the shared belief that it would actually be small-scale entrepreneurs and businesses who would re-energize and rebuild the community fabric of Detroit. And so through Kiva Detroit, we invite individuals who are near and far to directly invest in the launch and growth of local area entrepreneurs. And using the Kiva website, individuals can contribute $25 toward a microloan and collaboratively fund a loan request up to $5,000. And thus far, through those $25 contributions, individuals have lent $80,325 to local area small businesses right here in Detroit. And so, yes, it's pretty awesome.
Exciting.
And so we see the platform of Kiva Detroit being a great gathering space. It's a powerful way to leverage the web as a place to share stories, to collaborate on funding a loan request, and hopefully to build long-term relationships between the lenders and the entrepreneur. We've had an entrepreneur access a new portfolio of work for his graphic design studio through one of his lenders in Paris. We've had a number of businesses featured in national media after journalists have had the personal experience of going to read their stories and making a loan to them online. And yet, we know that we don't live entirely in a digital world. And in fact, most of the magical moments we experience in life are through our everyday encounters in the physical world. And that's what Detroit Soup facilitates, is those type of encounters. So Amy, tell us about Detroit Soup.
Sure. So Detroit Soup is a micro-granting dinner that funds creative projects for the city of Detroit. You come, you spend $5, you get soup, salad, bread, and a vote. And what you're voting on are creative projects that are looking to make Detroit better. So social entrepreneurs, social justice, technology, education, art, urban agriculture, really anything that's looking to make Detroit better. And so these 4 presenters monthly have 4 minutes to share their idea, and they get 4 questions from the diners. And then we get a chance to eat, connect, share, engage, and vote. And what you're voting on are these projects, and whoever has the most votes at the end of the night wins the money from the door. And so like Elizabeth, Detroiters have given back to Detroiters over 50 dinners, $51,610.99, which is really also very exciting. We've moved into neighborhoods throughout the community, and we're at 7 neighborhood soups now. One of my favorite things to share is that 7 businesses have formed, 5 nonprofits, parks have been cleaned. We've had friends who've met at the dinner and got married. We've had people receive jobs and collaborate on new projects. What we see at Detroit Soup is a lot of the times the winner are projects based around the ideas of social justice. So the idea that your idea is not just about you, but it's about the community, like Rebel Now, or the Empowerment Plan, right? Like hiring women, et cetera, et cetera. What we found was that small business owners in brick and mortar spaces were having a really hard time capturing the imagination of the voters in Detroit. And so we found that this was a really good way to collaborate together.
And so, like Amy shared, we also found that there were certain challenges along the way. And in fact, a lot of the lenders that we were recruiting to the platform were really hungry for experiences to connect offline, to meet in person, and to build relationships. And so Amy and I took these struggles, we had these struggles in mind. We met up for a conversation at the Green Garage here in Detroit, and we asked ourselves, well, how might we connect the dots between our two models, between Detroit Soup and Kiva Detroit, to create a new platform? And hence was born this platform that we call Kiva Soup. And through Kiva Soup, we invite Detroiters and our Kiva lenders to come into Detroit Soup space and hear from 4 local entrepreneurs who share about their businesses, the work they're doing in the community, and pitch a funding need to the public. And using Detroit Soup's model, our audience votes on who will walk away with a grant to advance their work. We've seen incredible things come out of Kiva Soup. We've seen a business that recycles 100% of the hair cut here in Detroit, a barber shop in Midtown, tell their story about their innovative business model. We've seen local coffee shops, we've seen community recycling businesses, all share their stories and get feedback from the audience. So with $5 donated at the door or lent online, individuals are able to come into this space and see how their small contributions are making a big collective impact.
Yeah, and the thing is like, it's a really magical experience is what I like to call it at what happens at Soup. And so Amanda Brewington was our first winner, and she said in that night, it's an evening I remember as the night Detroit said, we support your dream, which is a really powerful statement and what happens in Soup. So that night, Amanda, who wanted money towards an espresso machine, received $1,700 and now has her coffee shop open in the Grandmont Rosedale neighborhood called Always Brewing Detroit. That night also, 300 people agreed that she should receive that funding. And within 48 hours after presenting, every single presenter received funding through the Kiva platform, which is really quite amazing. And hundreds shared our stories and their stories over social media and probably around their own kitchen tables.
And so we're here today because we're passionate about 2 main things that can come about when folks like us collaborate to find the handle on the door. The first is that we create safe places for people to share their dreams. And I think we all are here today because we believe that we need those safe places to share our ideas, to fail, and to conquer our fears. Because fear, as we've heard on everyone's talk today, is what stifles innovation. And so we need a space to conquer that fear. And secondly, we need abundantly clear opportunities for individuals everywhere to lean in and to participate and to lift up the dreamer in their dream. So that's what we believe we're doing here through Kiva Soup.
And something else that we also valued and realized is that we don't live in a world that's just black or white, that's not just digital or just analog, but it's this healthy marriage of these 2 ideas together. And so I'm excited to share with us today that if you have a fancy smartphone and you have an app, you can download our Detroit Soup app so that you can kind of experience together what it means to live online through your smartphone, but then also engaging these projects all throughout the community. And I think that's the things that we realize is that you want to put a face to these things that you're doing and like know that they're real and that they're passionate about their ideas. And so we get to see these human-centered collaborations.
That's right. And so we certainly want and believe we are leveraging the power of the web to connect and inform us. But we're also humanizing that process through the most nitty-gritty, scrappy, personal types of experiences, like a soup dinner on the floor. And we really are here today because we believe that all of us intuitively are geared to collaborate. And so we hope that this story of Kiva Soup really helps demonstrate ways that we can remove those barriers to participation and collaboration.
So we have an opportunity today to ask this question together of how do we have, where is this handle and how can we open it for each other? And so we want you to open that for each other today and ask a simple question after having this shared experience. At Soup, after the presenters share and right before we eat, we ask them to say, hey, you turn to your neighbor and say, well, what do you want to vote for? And all of a sudden, these magical experiences come about in the collaborations. So today, here's your opportunity while you're waiting in line, you're out in the atrium, you're riding up and down the escalator 400 times if that's what you're into. Turn to somebody and just say, hey, what did you like? And you never know what door you might open and magic could be inside. So thank you so much.
Thank you.